Hey Carew, it's Saturday, March 5th, and I am beat. I just got back from playing soccer with the high school boys. Well, actually, it's funny because I think there were more middle school kids there than there were high school kids. And a few adults, 4 high school kids, and like 6 middle school kids. So, I had a good time. I'm exhausted. It was 2 hours. I ran really hard, although most of the people there probably wouldn't say I ran really hard. And had a good time. But I'm really thirsty. And I can't drink anything for another 4 hours or so, 3.5 hours. So, I'm going to go watch a movie that Linda gave me for Yamiha, which is... my brain's fried. Which is Time Bandits, which I talked about recently. Anyway, been fasting. It's been going pretty well for me. Actually, the first day of the fast, I ate breakfast, and then I went and worked out on a full stomach, and I felt like... I felt bad. How's that? So I don't use profanity. It was not a pleasant experience. So the next day I got up an hour earlier, and I went and worked out, and then I ate breakfast, and then I showered at work. And that worked real well. So I did that Thursday and Friday. And then this morning I got up, obviously, and I didn't work out because it's weekend. And I don't believe in working out on weekends. It's not necessarily true. So, yeah, I'm pretty exhausted. Anyway, I saw your little video about the Wii, and I love it. I think you should sue Nintendo. Is it Nintendo who makes the Wii? Sue them. Didn't they get sued already, and that's why they put the little straps on those things? Anyway, that's awesome. Carew had his 18th birthday yesterday, and had a good day, I think. Enjoyed himself. Last night I went down and a friend of mine, Mitch, who I've talked to you about before, he and his girlfriend were playing down at GP. They were playing an opening act for a band from Portland. And so we did the middle school soccer, and then I ran down there, and unfortunately I missed them, but I hung out down there, and I sat there and talked to Mitch and listened to this band from Portland and watched the Portland Timbers play the Seattle Sounders on my phone live. It's crazy. What kind of a world do we live in? And so I'm sitting there in Great Pacific, and there's this band from Portland, that are hipsters. I'm sitting there on my phone watching soccer, and there's guys walking around in GP in cowboy boots with spurs on them. I mean, and they're like working cowboys, which is why they have spurs on their boots. It's just kind of a surreal experience. I wish I'd taken a little video of it, but I don't think I did. I'll check my phone. Also, yesterday I went out with Scott, and we went out... so I'm at work yesterday, and Scott comes to my office and says, I have to go out to Minthorn Springs on the Umatilla River on the floodplain, and... do you want to come out with me? And I was like, oh man, I really need to buckle down and do some work. I'm a bum. I need to get some work done. He's like, I'll come back and talk to you later. So he comes back at lunchtime and he says, you're not eating lunch anyway. Why don't you come with me out there? And I was like, okay. And so I just had my nice shoes. So I threw on my toe shoes. I was wearing jeans, and we went out, and I was wearing my new glasses, my new polarized prescription sunglasses, and we got out there, and there's a little stream you have to cross to get out onto the floodplain. It's actually Springbrook, and there's a board there usually, but apparently when we had this big flood event, it washed away the board. So we were like, we can just jump it. And there's a narrow spot, but at the narrow spot there's a tree. Yeah, you see what's coming, don't you? And so Scott jumped across and grabbed the tree, and the tree kind of leans out over the water. And so I actually reached out, and as I jumped, I grabbed a little branch of the tree with one hand, and then with the other hand, I kind of put it around the trunk, and the branch I grabbed broke off. And so I kind of fell sideways, but I held on, and I made it across. I splashed a little water on my jeans, but, nothing serious. But my glasses, of course, my brand new prescription sunglasses, went flying off my face into the swiftly running Spring Brook and washing down towards the Umatilla River. And I was like, and I saw him go down, and I saw him, and the river kind of, that Spring Brook kind of has a fork in it, and it went off to the right side, and I saw him go off into the right side and then disappear into this deep pool. I mean, deep pool relatively. I mean, it was probably a foot and a half deep. And so I was like, okay, and I kind of walked around over from the other end of the pool, rolled up my pants, and just waded in. And eventually I found them. They were out there in the middle of this pool. But it was cold. The water was really cold. And then, of course, my feet were soaking wet. And you know how your ankles ache when your feet get really cold? And this guy I know, Mike McLeod, I think he's an Nisqually Indian, but he's lived out here. He works in fisheries. He was out there because there's a little hatchery facility here, and he was working there. And I know him because our kids played baseball together, and I played volleyball with him. And so he was giving me a bad time about it. Anyway, I got all my stuff, and I just left my jeans rolled up. And so Scott and I walked out on the floodplain and walked around. And I've got a bunch of photographs I took. I don't think I took any video. I might have taken a little bit, which I'll cut in here while I'm telling this story. But it was fun. It was fun. So we had a good time. Hope Duncan's all right. He's doing okay. I'd like to hear about how that all went down. If you had conversations with various parties involved. Yeah, so I'm going to go watch Time Bandits and try to not think about how thirsty I am. I may take a little ibuprofen, though, because my neck is really sore. I played pretty hard today. I did some crazy heading of the ball where I went like this, and I felt it all the way down into my upper back, because I'm an idiot. But, yeah, it was fun. Man, I love playing soccer. It's just awesome. But I'm wondering, I'm just not quite as quick as I used to be. Shocking, I know. And it's funny how the kids who are now 13 and 14 years old keep getting quicker and bigger, and they're kicking my butt. But the high school kids, I don't even try anymore. So anyway, I will remain still dead until I speak to you again. Hope you have a great weekend. Bye-bye.